Superb. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome officially to the club contest Leadership Speak, which is a global Toastmasters club, one of the top clubs globally. We have members from 29 different countries, and we span 15 time zones, and our contestants today are from all over the world, literally. And so here we go. Madam contest chair, all my judges are here, and they've already been told what to do and how to vote for and how to count and vote. So they're all ready to go. I believe the timers have been briefed. So the timers, if you can put up your hands. I will leave that to the contest chair in the end, of course, to make sure that that is up. And the main timer, just to make sure, the main timer will change the colors, but both the timers will be recording time and will send it to me. I'm the chief judge, so please send the timing to me. When you've collected all of them at the end, directly to me. So Ajura, can you put up your hand, please? Well, make sure that you do. I'll leave it to the contest chair to make sure that that hand is up as well. David, are you there? David, can you acknowledge that you are there? I will leave that to the contest chair as she begins to introduce the event. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you our contest chair, who is Dr. Aswati Rajan, Distinguished Toastmaster from District 120, which is in India. She's been a member for 2.5 years, I believe, right now in Leadership Speak. And she is the Club Growth Director in District 120. And I would like to see her become the Program Quality Director and then the District Director of 120. Over to you, Dr. Aswati Rajan.
Thank you so much, Distinguished Toastmaster Brahm Memon. Welcome to this amazing contest of Leadership Speak. It is said that words have power. Words have power to transform anyone's life. And today we are going to witness such transforming speeches who are going to touch you, move you, and inspire you. Once again, welcome, dear guests and Toastmasters, to this International Speech Contest of Leadership Speak. Leadership Speak is organizing this contest in 3 parts. Yesterday was day 1, and today is the day 2, and we will have 3rd contest tomorrow. And the winner of this contest will be contesting later. So tonight, we have the honor to greet our guests and members of Leadership Speak. Before starting the contest, I would like to read the purpose of the contest as defined by Toastmasters International. The purpose of this contest is to provide an opportunity for speakers to improve their speaking abilities and to recognize the best as encouragement to all. To provide an opportunity to learn by observing the more proficient speakers who have benefited from their Toastmasters journey. Before we start, I would like to point out a few rules for the benefit of the contestants and the audience. From now on, we will disable the chat box here on Zoom. Only use our WhatsApp groups when it is necessary and when it is related to the contest. Our officials are relying on WhatsApp to communicate during the contest, and when unrelated messages pops up, they will be distracted. So today, we are all set to start day 2 of the International Speech Contest of Leadership Speak. So are you all ready? So let's start with the speaker number 1, Gilda. Zoom Master, can you spotlight Gilda?
Kindly have Gilda turn on her video.
Gilda, can you please turn on your video? Thank you so much. You can unmute yourself, Gilda. You're on mute.
Good morning, everybody. I did send a message yesterday apologizing for not being able to deliver my speech today.
So are you contesting? Gilda, are you ready to contest today?
No, I'm not, actually. My
Okay.
apologies. I did send a message yesterday.
No problem, Gilda. We respect that. So we'll start with contestant number 2, Buhari A. Zayed. Zoom Master, please spotlight Buhari A. Zayed.
Contest chair, I would request, as I work on that you share with me the list so that I can make them co-hosts before, and they would be able to.
Sure. Buhari, please turn on your video.
Hi,
Thank
contest
you.
chair.
Can you see the timers?
Oh, yes, I can see the timers to the far left.
Buhari A. Zayed. Unleashing the power of positive words. Unleashing the power of positive words. Buhari A. Zayed.
The words we say to ourselves shape our emotions, beliefs, and behaviors. Say words of positivity to yourselves and wait to see the transformation that happens in your life. Tony Robbins said these words. The contest chair, fellow contestants, Toastmasters, and our esteemed guests. The words we say to ourselves have power to transform lives. Words can move mountains. Why not speak positive ones yourself? Few days ago, I came across the work of Dr. Masaru, a Japanese researcher who researched about how words affect water, the composition of water when viewed under the microscope. Under his research, he exposed 2 cups of water, one unleashing positive words on them, such as, "You can do it, you have all it takes, you're a good person," and the other glass with negative words, such as, "You were never good enough, you can't do it." Wait. When he froze these 2 cups of water and viewed them under the microscope, he discovered the ones that were unleashed with positive words had a very smooth crystal formation. And while the other that was viewed under the microscope, which was exposed to negative words, had very rough crystal formation. This shows the impact of words and how words have impact on the world and things around us. My mother once told me a story about a man she knew that said he had to make it in life. He had to be successful before the age 40, given the yardstick of money as success. Unfortunately, he was 40 and wasn't rich. His life went miserable. Everything he touched seemed to go to ruin. And then my mother warned me never, ever to tell myself negative words. Rather, I should unleash positive words on myself so that I become a better person. I swiftly took that into action. In my college days, I used to tell my colleagues that I would have 4 master's degrees, one in business administration, one economics, the other in law, and finally in English language. They laughed at me that you're still in college, man, and you're talking about 4 master's degree. I kept pushing myself and telling myself I can do it. I have all it takes. If others can do it, I can do it. I'm happy to announce that I've achieved 2 master's degree out of the list. An executive master's in business administration from Pontic School of Business and Technology, Washington, D.C., and a master's in public sector economics. And I'm yet on the way to achieve the remaining 2 in English language and in law. When I was in high school, I met my wife there in year 5, and I told her I liked her and I wanted to marry her. She smiled and looked away. Secondary school, high school student who is waiting for his parents to give him some money to spend, telling her that he wants to marry her. Told her, yes, I would marry you. Told my friends about her, how lovely she is, how lovely we're going to have a family after our marriage, the number of kids we were going to have, the vacations we were going to embark on, to go across the world sharing affection and love. 10 years after, I am happy to announce that I got married, lovely lady, during COVID in the year 2020. We have one bouncing baby boy named Abdul Halim. We have so far traveled to 4 countries: Ethiopia, Turkey, so Ethiopia, Turkey, and India. And guess what? I took her to the Taj Mahal building, symbolizing love and affection. And here we are, having good time of love and affection. Dear Toastmasters and guests, the words we say to ourselves are powerful. When we unleash positive words, we tend to open the world of possibility, transformation in our lives. It is a choice that you should make, whether to unleash negative words or positive words on yourself, for they are powerful, they can move mountains. I urge you all to embrace unleashing positive words on yourself and in your life, and watch as the transformation happens in your life. Remember, the words we say are responsible to shape our emotions, beliefs, and behavior. Unleash positive words in your life, and you thank me later. I have done that. The results are evident. See you at the gate. The contest chair.
Now we will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute is elapsed. Thank you. Contestant number 3, Elena Constantino.
Good evening, Contest Chair.
Hi, Elena. Can you see the timers?
Yes.
Elena Constantino, 5 seconds. 5 seconds, Elena Constantino.
In the 5 seconds that it took me to answer this urgent text, whilst driving at 70 kilometers an hour, I traveled the length of a football field. I noticed the green traffic light, the cars on my left, the pedestrians in front of me, all good. What I did not notice was the boy cycling on my right, whom I forced to drive very close to the curb and fall off his bike. I only realized what I had done after the driver behind me started honking and waving at me. I stopped the car, got out. My heart was pounding very hard. Fortunately, the boy was okay. 2 ladies were staring at me, one whispering to the other. She was fidgeting on her phone whilst driving. I saw it clearly. I wanted to walk up to them and say, it was only 5 seconds and the text was very important. And you know what? Everyone does it. It is such a trivial issue. But I also felt very embarrassed. I could have parked the car and answered the text. I could have acted less selfishly. My heart almost stopped. I could have killed that boy. Only a month ago, a school teacher in Colorado was found guilty of killing a 10-year-old child while texting behind the wheel of her car. It only took 5 seconds for the accident to happen. Dear Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, what if I were that school teacher who is currently behind bars? Even worse, what if I was that heavy goods vehicle driver in Lancashire, UK in 2019 who was checking Facebook and plowed into a school bus, killing 2 and injuring 5? Suddenly, this no longer seems like a trivial issue. There's a sharp pain in my heart, and I am afraid. I am afraid because so many of us do it. We drive along, reading text, answering texts, listening to podcasts, scrolling, even recording videos. According to the US National Safety Council, 1.6 million crashes are caused annually by drivers on their phones whilst driving. Millions of dollars in damages, hundreds of deaths, maybe even more, because who admits that they have been driving and texting? Please raise your hand. How many of you have been driving on a highway recently and noticed some bizarre behavior by the driver in front of you, only to realize later that they were on their phone the whole time? Even if you're not personally guilty of this bad habit, are you a positive force on friends, co-workers, and family members so that they can make the right choice? It's only 5 seconds, my husband told me the other day when I tried cautioning him about using the phone whilst driving. You usually eat, drink, and smoke while driving. Isn't that the same thing? It's true. I sometimes even put on makeup during a red light. Answering a text, though, is not the same as eating a sandwich when driving. Some would say that both occupy our hands and our vision in similar ways. Driving with one hand for a while, for example, or taking our sight from the road might not be the major problem. What is it about mobile phones that makes it 4 times more likely to cause an accident than compared to other distractions, according to the World Health Organization? It has to do with the neuroscience of our brains and what we call inadvertent blindness. Now, neuroscientific studies have proven that human brains are only capable of processing one cognitive task at a time, just one. Our brain handles things sequentially. Forget about the parallel thinking. When we switch to a second task, the first one is temporarily paused until we return our focus to it. So here's the problem. When we take our mind off driving to answer a text or make a thoughtful remark on a phone call, our thinking slows down, our concentration declines, and stress might build up. So ultimately, we become what's called inadvertently blind. To make matters even worse, a published study by the University of Utah has proven that drivers who talk on hand-free cellular phones are as impaired as drunken drivers at the minimum illegal limit, which means just like you put yourself and other people at risk when you drive drunk, you put yourself and others at risk when you use a mobile phone and drive. The study concludes with a recommendation for legislators who really want to address these driver distractions, that we should consider outlawing cell phone use while driving. Isn't your safety, health, and focus more important than a text? Please don't become a statistic for the sake of a scroll. From the moment you turn on the engine to the moment you turn it off, please try not to lay a finger on your phone. Let the world wait while you focus on the task at hand. Right now, we can all commit to saving a life, avoiding an accident, keeping our roads safer. It is a decision that only takes 5 seconds. Contest chair.
Now we will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute has elapsed. Thank you. Contestant number 4, Luciana M. Zhao. Hello, Luciano.
Hello. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you. We can see you. Can you see the timers? Thank you. Luciano M. Zhao. You are Luciano M. Zhao.
I've always grappled with the question, are leaders made or born? If you want to be a leader, is it something that has to be inside you that you have to be born with? or is something that you can grow, something that you can build? I've always grappled with that question for many years until I read the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It changed my perspective on that. As a young child, and while growing up, one of the scariest moments I had in my life, it's always when I was given feedback, especially at work, at the end of the year, when they say, Luciano, you are this. Luciano, you are that. I've always been so scared. And I always thought to myself, how can I decide the outcome? What the person that's giving me the evaluation, how can I have the power to determine what this person says about me? I've grappled with that for a long time, even at school, even at home, even at work during my first years. I grapple with that. So, what happened? I used to believe that for you to be a leader, you have to be born. So, which means it's something that you have within you. If you're not born with that ability to be a leader, you will never be a leader. There's no way for you to be a leader. I used to believe that. By believing that, I put a blocker in my mind that whatever I did, I can never become a leader. But there are a couple of things. For you to be a leader, you have to distill down what is a leader at the end of the day. Think about it. We always want to be a leader. Most of us wish to be a leader. But what is leadership? What does it mean to be a leader? There are a couple of aspects that one has to look at when it comes to be a leader. You need to have integrity. What's integrity at the end of the day? Integrity is what you say is what you do. There needs to be congruency between what you say and what you do. Can I build that in myself? I found out that I could. I could say something, promise something, and actually do it by working at it, which is extremely important. This is something that I worked on. And while growing up, while working, came to the workplace, a friend of mine gave me reference to the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And one skill that one learning point that I took from that book is whatever you want to do, you need to define what is it that you want and see what is it required for you to achieve that. That's what I've learned. Proactiveness. You decide what you want and what are the steps I need to follow in order to get it. I read the book. I put that into practice at the workplace. It came to a point where I was no longer scared at the evaluation at the end of the year, where my supervisor would say, Luciano, you are. Luciano, you are. I dread listening to those words. But after reading the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, especially learning about proactiveness, habit number 1, you have to be proactive. Don't wait for things to happen, but go ahead and make things happen for yourself. I started doing it where I started working more on the technical aspect. I started working on my social skills, which at the end of the day are the aspects that my supervisor gave me the evaluation at the end of the year. When I started working on those aspects, I was no longer afraid of hearing those words, Luciano, you are, because I was in a place where I had the power to determine what the person would say about me when it came to those technical aspects and the soft skills that he would evaluate me at the end of the year. That was something extremely powerful, where I got the power to determine what were the words that would come after you are. Thank you very much. Over to you, Contest Chair.
Now we will have 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute is elapsed. Thank you, timer. Contestant number 5, Jyothi Thomas. Hello, Jyothi, are you ready? Can you see the timers?
Yes, I can. Thank you. My audio video clear?
Yes.
Thank you.
Jyothi Thomas. The moments between silence. The moments between silence, Jyothi Thomas.
I am giving you 10 days. Sink or swim. Remember, Jyothi, you have a child who has lost her father. Moments between silence. That was the statement my father said when I was going through the most emotional meltdown, grieving the death of my husband. Have you had somebody who tell you things that can make a momentous change in your life? We don't take things easily. Now, this incident happened after a couple of months. I thought I dealt with the loss of my better half beautifully, standing tall, running it through. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, will you agree if I said that all human beings are, or rather, most human beings are, very nice, they mean good things only? We often say kids say the darnest things, but I noticed something. At a time of grief, when you've lost somebody, it doesn't have to be just a loss, it can be any turbulence. People ask the darnest things. Ask yourself the critical question, why? Why would you ask something like that? Have you ever been through challenges in your life and you don't know how to cope through it? All through my life, I thought it was boundaries. For 17 years, I was beating and thinking people don't have boundaries. Till I found out just few months ago Simon Sinek's beautiful quote and the message of the 8 minutes, the authentic power of presence. We talk about authenticity everywhere. What makes me say that? While I had gone through the entire roller coaster ride, I had people at that point who asked me, Jyothi, you knew your husband had cancer. Were you prepared for it? Did you find out if he's got a will? Jyothi, you are so strong. Wow, you went through the whole thing all by yourself. Shh. Hush. You can't do anything, you have to behave yourself. Show of hands, how many of you have gone through these moments when you think you are burdened? You've gone through the life of journey with dignity, and the weight of the loss can be overwhelming. The moments between silence. I just found out that there's a research that says 58% of people get over the grief in 6 months. That's quoted in MD Webmaster. I'm able to look at it now after 17 years, and I am able to be empathetic to somebody else. Today, I'm here to talk to you about the power of things that we say that can blow people off. In the journey, we see so much. We are constantly giving unsolicited advice. Stop. Ask yourself, do I really need to say that? Or, shh, moment of silence. When I sat back to wonder, what is it we want? All that came to my mind was the 8 minutes. The 8 minutes is what we need from people, is what Simon Sinek says, and that's precisely what we want. Sit by my side. Ask no questions. Be there for me. Is what anybody going through any challenge in life wants. Easier said than done. There's a lack of understanding that intensifies situations for people. Show me your hands if you haven't been in a situation like that. And I can tell you, when I look at the screen, oh yes, you have. The passage of life takes us through various things. And today in the world, why would I talk about it? There is suicide for every second thing. I heard 6 months back there was somebody who gave their life up because they could not deal with the loss of their loved ones. And there were so many people hounding them with questions. All that I'm going to ask of you, do you have the 8 minutes? We talk about being authentic. We talk about integrity. We're talking about empathy. Are we truly there? Again, I start with, let's look at it. Why would you want to have so many questions? Fellow Toastmasters, when we talk to people, do we ask them, is there anything I can do? Or, hush, the moment between silence is all that people want. Simon Sinek came to me like an angel who took the boundaries away, and he put this critical thinking into my head to say, ask yourself the why. Are you there for somebody when they're in need? Are you there for that 8 minutes? Is that 8 minutes asking for too much? When you can give that moment of silence, just be by their side. You have given them all that they wanted. Let people be. Today I challenge you, and today I beg of you, can you spare that 8 minutes, the 8 minutes that can give the moment between silence? Over to the contest chair.
Now we will give 1 minute of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when 1 minute is elapsed. Thank you. Thank you, timer. Contestant number 6, Leah Musunga.
Good
Hello,
evening,
Leah.
contestant. Hello.
Can you see the timers?
Yes, I can.
Leah, can you speak? Your audio, if it's not so clear.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Now it's okay. Leah Musunga. Oops Day. Oops Day. Leah Musunga.
Have you ever woken up and had an oops day? Hello, fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, and guests. You might be wondering, what is an oops day? An oops day is when you have an unfortunate event happening to you. And a few months ago, I had an oops day. Here in Botswana, where I live, just before independence, we always dress up in our local fabric and cloth to celebrate independence when we're going to work. That day, I woke up feeling great, put on my dress, and just before heading to work, I stopped at the ATM to get some money. All of a sudden, I felt someone tapping me on my shoulder. Hello, ma'am. Sorry to tell you, your zip is undone at the back. At that moment, I wanted the ground to open and swallow me. I was thinking, am I exposed in the back? I quickly turned back and asked her if she could help to zip up my dress. With a little tug and pull, she was able to assist me, and I slowly rushed back to my car. And as I sat down, I just heard it. Rip! The zip was gone. Luckily, I lived nearby, and I rushed home to go and change. As I was getting out of my vehicle, I heard a bang. I looked down. My phone had fallen and the screen was cracked. Oops. I rushed to my house, quickly started looking for an alternative dress to wear, one without a zip. And as I was heading out of my house, feeling extremely low because of all of the oops I had experienced so far that morning, I was reminded of something that I had learned a few years ago. What do you do when you experience an oops day? You always have two choices. You could either let the events that have happened to you dictate how you move the rest of the day or the week, or you could have a different attitude about how you view your oops situations. I had learned that it's good to focus on the positives that are around you. Yes, I had experienced a big of my dress and a bang of my phone. But I was glad that I lived nearby and I could find an alternative dress. It was unfortunate that my phone was cracked, but it was still functioning. I'd also learned that there is humor that you can find even in those oops situations. When I got to the office and I recounted what had happened to me at the ATM, I tried to put some humor in it about how I had to slowly walk a bit backwards so that other people couldn't see, just in case my dress opened up again. And yes, my phone was cracked, but it was a little bit funny that way I had rushed out of my car without actually looking what was around me. And I'd also learned to focus on the present. It's easy for us to want to look back and think about what could I have done different, but to focus on the now. And that is what I had done. Not look back on the unfortunate events that had happened, but focus on the now. That day, I was able to go to work, celebrate with my workmates as we looked and praised each other wearing our traditional cloth. In this life, we can't avoid an oops day. Winston Churchill once said, attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, when you face an oops day, remember you always have two choices. You could either let those unfortunate events dictate how you move, or you could decide to have a better attitude about them and let your positive attitude guide you. Madam Contest Chair.
Now we will have 2 minutes of silence for the judges to mark their ballots. Timer, please indicate when the time is elapsed. Thank you, timer. Chief Judge, are we good to go with the interviews?
The ballots
Okay,
have not been filled. When they are, I will let you know. In the meantime, there's silence.
Sure. So the results are getting ready. In the meantime, let's get to know our contestants. So let's
Not
start
yet.
with
No. Until the ballots have been done, you cannot interview the contestants, as you know.
yes.
Silence until then, until I let you know.
Sure. Thank you.
I have received. You may proceed with the interviews. I will be only about 3 or 4 minutes. Thank you.
Chief Judge, are we good to go?
I have received, yes. You may proceed with the interviews.
Thank you.
I'll be only about 3 minutes.
Sure. Thank you so much. So let's start with the contestants interview. We have contestant number 2, Buhari.
Hello, contest chair.
Hi, Buhari. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great. So, Buhari, how long you have been in Toastmasters and what was the reason to join Toastmasters?
Start with, this is my 5th year, counting to the 6th. I joined Toastmasters in 2019. And the major reason for joining Toastmasters then was I was very, very introverted. I lacked confidence speaking in public. And then my work was in sales. And then I realized that communication was one of the things that would make me achieve my goals. And that was the reason I joined.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Buhari, and all the best.
Thank you, the contest chair.
Next, we have contestant number 3, Elena Constantino. Hi, Elena. You're on mute. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Elena?
Good.
Trying to
Great.
gather up the family to have dinner.
Okay. So, Elena, I would love to know, I mean, we all would love to know why you chose Leadership Speak. Why membership in Leadership Speak?
I think Leadership Speak chooses you. I found out about Leadership Speak when I participated last year around this time in the Global Keynote Challenge. But I stayed because I really find the camaraderie and the teamwork very enlightening. I find people's commitment to their self-development very motivating. I see a lot of professionalism and a lot of kindness at the same time. And I made a few friends, even though it's an online platform and we're all very far away. So I'm really enjoying this group of people.
Great. Wonderful to know that, Elena. Thank you so much and all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you for volunteering for these positions.
Next, we have Luciano. Zoom Master, can you bring Luciano?
Luciana, kindly start your video.
Luciano, can you turn on your video? Okay. I think he's not available. So let's move on to the next contestant, contestant number 5, Jyothi Thomas. Hello, Toastmaster Jyothi. How are you?
Hello, DJ Mashwati. I'm doing super good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very well.
Good
Thank you so
to
much.
see you. Great.
So, Toastmaster Jyothi, how long you have been in Toastmasters?
I joined the Toastmasters end of 2006, and I was there till about 2010. And I reinstated in 2020. But nonetheless, with the gap in between two, I still stayed aligned with Toastmasters. So it feels like I've been there forever.
Oh,
It's been
wonderful.
about
So you
10
had a gap
years.
in between. So what
That's
made you
right.
come back?
I never did really leave. I didn't renew my membership, maybe, but I stayed aligned with Toastmasters. So it was just having to come back. That's all.
Sure. Thank you so much, Jyothi, for answering the questions and all the very
Thank you.
best.
Thank you very much. Good to see you here again.
Thank you. Next, we have contestant number 6, Leah Musunga.
Good evening, Madam Contest Chair.
Good evening, Leah. How are you?
I'm all right.
Great. So, Leah, the question is, what inspires you the most?
Various things actually inspire me. Family, friends, stories I read, movies I watch. So I guess I get inspiration from quite a lot of stuff. I belong to a local church, so I get to interact with young children. So they also inspire me quite a lot. Yeah.
Wonderful. It's well said that inspiration can come in any form. Thank you so much, Leah, and all
Thank
the
you.
very best.
Thank you.
Luciano, are you back? Are you there? Okay. I think he's still not there. So with that, now it's time to get the results. Chief Judge, Can we announce the results now?
Yes, there were no disqualifications, and I've sent it to you, the results.
Thank you so much, Chief Judge, for sharing the results. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, now it's the moment to declare the results. And as you heard our Chief Judge saying that there are no disqualifications for today's contest. So in no particular order, we have two winners who will be proceeding to the finals on February 8th. And the winners are Jyothi Thomas and Elena Constantinou. Congratulations, Jyothi, and congratulations, Elena. All the very best. Both of you will be proceeding to the finals on February the 8th. All the best. Back to you, Chief Judge.
Let's have somebody take the pictures. Zoom master, if you can take the pictures, and then and also, of course, February the 8th is our regular club meeting, which means 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Toronto, New York. Mr. Zoom master, have you taken the pictures?
Not yet.
All right. Smile. Jyothi, look at the camera.
Just one more smile. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the role players who were there to support this contest, the timers, Edura, David, and Hannah. Thank you, and thanks to all the judges and our Chief Judge. So I'll hand it back to Distinguished Toastmaster Brahmamon, our Chief Judge.
Thank you. Thank you, Aswati, for taking on this role. I know it's really stretching you because it's pretty late where you are at night. And so is Jyothi, same time zone as you are. So I'm amazed how people are stretching themselves to be part of Leadership Speak and to get on this platform and speak at so many different time zones. Congratulations, Elena and Jyothi. Wonderful jobs. Wonderful speeches, and we heard a lot of wonderful speeches. We had unleashing the power of positive words. 5 seconds, very important. These days, I don't get into the car of anyone who I've previously known. When I've sat in the car and they've been driving and looking at the phone, I don't go with them anymore. It's too dangerous. The moments between silence, amazing speech. Oops, they end. You are. So. We begin again tomorrow for the next semifinals and the final semifinals. Same time, 12 noon, Toronto, New York time. Everyone, please be on time. Please support our speakers. We have 8 speakers tomorrow. Currently, things change by the minute and people keep dropping off. I hope nobody drops off this time. And I think Gilda did drop off last night or late last night or sometime. They just sometimes we just miss a lot of work is being done behind the scenes to get this and to carry this forward. So we'll try our best, and we'll make sure that tomorrow will be on par with what's really going on. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations again, Elena and Jyothi. And this meeting is adjourned. Baron, if you can stop the recording, both the streaming and the